Morning. Well, hello, internet people, YouTube and Bookface land, wherever it is you're going to be watching this. Welcome to MADtrading. I'm your host, MADtrader. A face for radio and a voice for silent film. Obviously, if you've ever seen me, I've got the body of a kebab Adonis. Anyway. Not done one for a while. It's been absolute manic the past couple of weeks, which is ridiculous. I wasn't well, coughing up all colours of the rainbow. And then the wife wasn't well, kids haven't been well. It's been a right moo face. And then to top it all off, a while ago, the wife, no fault of her own, there was a dink. We won't go into it. So she's had to have her car taken off to go get fixed, insurance jobby and all that, and they dropped off a hire car, a small like a 4-door Corsa thingy. Anyway, idiot boy here didn't even know how to open the bleeding car. Well, I was pressing all the buttons, but it wasn't making any noise. Changed the battery, didn't make any noise. Turns out it was a boot latch on the hire car. Apparently, if the boot latch isn't down all the way, the car won't open or unlock or lock, which is, that's a bit of a design flaw, really, Anyway, so since we've had that discussion and fixed, the good lady, the current Mrs. Mitchell, the only Mrs. Mitchell, I'm never getting married again, even if it does all go the other way around. She's off out driving her car successfully now. Anyway, we've had it for 2 weeks, and they're not going to get it fixed till Friday coming. And I've spent so much money on petrol on that thing, it's not even funny. Talking of petrol, I see that there's a bit of a talk going on around Facebook and or Bookface, sorry, and Twitter and TikTok and all this good gumph about this secret, unheard of, unknown price hike in fuel next year. If it happens, it's not really secret. It was in the budget, but that might change come March, April time next year. I'm not so sure though, because there's not a lot of money left in the piggy bank for Britain. Just before we get into the trading stuff, if I do go quiet and leave for a second, and you're watching this back, nothing major's happened. I'm waiting for a delivery today, so if the doorbell goes, I'll just be running off downstairs to go and get it. Anywho, let's look at some trading stuff. So I have a few accounts, as I'm sure those of you that reach me on a regular basis are aware of. In my main account through IG, I have several, because you can make several different account types within IG. You can have as many spread betting accounts as you want. They're all linked into the same thing. You can have stocks and shares, you can have ISAs, you can have all sorts of stuff. So within IG, it's a second separate IG account that I opened up. But anyway, so in my IG account, I have 3 other spread betting accounts that I trade on behalf of myself for tax purposes. Oh, before I do, because I got told off. Not financial advice, just for comedic value. Don't listen to anything I say. Do your own trading and investing assessments and backtest everything, all that good stuff. Just for entertainment purposes only. Not that it's very entertaining. Anyway, these 3 accounts, one of them is for, should we say, family members, and the other 2 are for my kids, and we'll call them Jack and Jill for now. So I've been going over Jack and Jill's accounts, and I do a something similar to the demo account that I've been showing people how to trade, or how I trade. Sorry, not how to trade. It's an engulfing strategy, but there's a bit of extra in it. So and it's all automated as well. So it'd be an engulfing strategy if there were a cross of 2 types of moving average. And if something else happened, not on the third Thursday of January, or if it was less than 6 degrees outside, that kind of stuff. There's loads of stuff in the code. I'll show you part of it today. So Jack and Jill's have not been too bad. I start every year with theirs with £1,000. So whatever's left in it, we take out, we put it into their junior ISAs, or we put it into their savings account, or we spend it on gin, whatever we're going to do with it. It's mine to start with, but once I've given it away, it's theirs. Anyway, so I started a couple of oh, you can't see, can you? Let me just move this out of the way first. I started a couple of accounts this year, beginning of this year, for Jack and Jill, my two. And it's come to the point where I need to look at either updating it or, changing it ever so slightly. I don't touch it, I don't play with it. It goes along on its own. It's kind of a high risk because it's only £1,000 to start off with, and then as it goes on and on, I need to look at scaling that back or increasing it further depending on what it is the wife and I are looking at. Anyway. So we always start the trading stuff with looking at the economic calendar. I use the MyFX book one. I think I've spoken about it beforehand. There was some stuff this morning. It was all low, gump really. Yeah, there's some stuff from the euro. Nothing really changed then. There's some more low crap coming out of America. The only ones that I would say are of any use to us would be these high risk ones from the USA, and it's the jobless claims on a 4-week average. So they're saying, if you look at this is the previous and the actual and what they think. So let's go to jobless claims. So the previous was 221, what they think is going to happen, and we're going to have to wait for the actual to come out. So around about 1 o'clock today, I won't be doing any trading anyway. I've in my own normal spread bet account, I've stopped for the month of November. I'm down a fair whack of cash. No biggie, it happens sometimes, but I'll just wait until next month to start trading again, and hopefully there'll be a Santa rally or a Santa decline, as there could be, since we're in a recession. Anyway, so if you are going to be trading today, or if you know of anyone that's going to be trading today, have a think about it. From the 1 o'clock mark onwards, I would say, give it a rest until around about 3. Have a couple of hours off. Have a big long lunch. There you go. Boom. So before we get into this bit here, this is Pro Real Time, and if you've not seen Pro Real Time, haven't used it, don't use it, don't worry. You get it free with IG. That's not Instagram, that's IG, the trading company. You get it free with IG, but you have to make I think it's 3, 4 or 5 trades a month, I'm not entirely sure, where the spreads just have a read into it. I'm not entirely sure why it's free or how you get it for free, but I trade so often it's not even funny, so it's free for me. And probably because I have the free one, let me just drag this off to the side. Probably because I have the free Pro Real Time through IG, that the maximum I can see is 100,000 units. No matter what I do, I can only go back as far as 100,000 units. So at the minute we're on a 2-minute chart, so that is 100,000 times 2 minutes is this entire chart, well, this chart down here, apparently. So I can go from 200 units, which would be quite small and ineffective, all the way up to, there is a 200,000, but I can't use it. It just doesn't show anything different, all the way up to 100,000. So when we're looking at stuff from a back test point of view, and this is how I do most of my back testing, I can only look back 100,000 units. And if that is a let's go for the hourly. If that's an hourly chart we're looking at. That's 100,000 hours. I'll go all the way back to 2007, 2006 time. We'll wait for this to faff about. But this will obviously start here because of the data from ding 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 ding. The data from my code starts at a certain point. That's why that's there. But we're not on that. We're on the 2 minute. So long story, even longer probably. On both of my children, Jack and Jill, let's call them, they have exactly the same setup. There's the occasional change to one, another one doesn't get the change, or another one will add something else to one and not the other. If I'm being more conservative, or if they've annoyed me, I'll just take. No, I'm really joking. It'll be pretty much the same on both of their accounts. It's my account. Don't get me wrong. It's my money. They're not trading. I'm trading it. But the money from these two accounts then goes, into my account, and then I'll pay or put the money over to my two kids' accounts. So we've been running this, and I'm not going to show the live stuff because that would be ridiculous of me to show you, just in case anyone from the bank or somewhere can see this. So we've been running this live account for a while. It's actually been running since before May. We started in January, but I can't see the backtest data from before then. And it's not been, it's not done too bad. And then the one that we've got currently running is this version 3. We're on the DAX, which is the Germany 40, was the Germany 30, changed to Germany 40. Here we are. So it's different amount that's in this account at the minute, or on this certain account at the minute. There's a different amount that's at the minute, but it's time to change it, because rather than taking the money out and putting it into my account and then putting it over to the kids' account, we're going to compound it. We're going to leave it in, and we're going to take next year as well, and we're going to try and increase it a little bit more. We need some. The girls need some extra bits and bobs next year, and this is a good way of doing it. It's a tax efficient way, so I'm told, tax efficient way of getting some extra moolah for them. So I've got to faff about with it, and this is some of the code. There's two for this to happen. There's this code, which we'll go over in a second, and then there's another like a manager code behind that. So all of the trades are traded, yes. They are executed on this system, on this automated trading system. But behind that, on all of the trades, is a manager code. And that's basically if the account gets down to less than blah, no more trading. If it loses X amount in a day, week, month, whatever, stop trading for a while on certain days. So Christmas, 23rd, 24th, 25th, it won't trade if there's a trading day, because normally there isn't. Bank holidays, it won't open a trade, all that good stuff. So bank holidays in America are different to bank holidays in Britain, and bank holidays in Europe, if they existed, because do they even work? I'm not entirely sure. This siesta malarkey obviously runs from 8 in the morning till 7 o'clock at night, and they don't do any work, and I wonder why they're losing money. Anyway, never mind. So in this manager code, it's got that bit. It's got the bit that says, don't trade if this, or if this, then do that. So on top of that, or behind this system, that manager code is running. And this is a simple, engulfing strategy over a couple of moving averages. And I've got to faff about with it, because whilst it's good, it's okay. We're going to be doing it on the current value. So current value, in a minute, let me look at the other screen, is there we go, 4468 currently. There's two other open trades, which Yeah, might bring in another, what's that, 183 quid? Yeah, we'll leave that off. So I'm going to start with this. The spread for the DAX is around about 3, 2.2 to 3. For me, might be more, might be less for you guys. And as you can see there, it doesn't start trading until, why that's in there. Doesn't start trading until 1 o'clock in the morning. I need to get rid of a few bits and bobs. And these are the moving averages. The stops are 27 for the stop and 510 for the target. Not that that matters, because if I look at the current, well, not current, but one for this V4, it's a 2875. Yeah, it's only 11% gain. It's a 2.4 risk reward, and it's only lost money, or only went into negative. The trades it took lost in July, and because of the manager code, it only lost a certain amount. It wouldn't let it do it anymore. So we need to get this better. We need to make sure that, and it will because of the amount that's already in there. We need to make sure that this increases. Now, Pro Real Time doesn't let me do fractional amounts in pounds, so I can't put 1.75 as a per point. So I can only go up in increments of singulars of digits of 1. So we've got to start at 2. So this code basically says, if this, and it's in between these times, by 2 at market. That's it. That's all it's asking us to do. Or that's all we're telling it to do. Excuse me. So currently, it is, and it's going to be a lot better because I'm adding a pound, but currently it's £2,875 is what it's saying it will gain within that 100,000 unit time frame. Let's see what it would have done if we'd have had this amount of money. Come back, you lunatic. There we go. If we'd have had this amount of money and £2 a point. So starting off with 4,400, let's call it, at £2 a point, it made a gain of about 5.7 roughly. Now we can, and it's still got exactly the same manager code behind it, so it'll only lose a little bit then. Highest was 1600 or 1650 in May. Yeah, I can't see that being that big in May. But what we want to look at is the chart. So the chart itself is going the right way. We want it to go from the low to the high, and it did lose a little bit, as they all do. There's no, I keep saying this, I don't know of any system that wins 100% of the time. If there are, if you come across one, please let me know. I'll bite your hands off for that. I have losers. People I talk to have losers. There are always losing trades, losing weeks, losing months, losing quarters. Not had a losing year yet, but that might come along. And you can see that with this chart. So, couple of wins, well, a loss, couple of wins, stagnant, nothing, didn't take a trade because of either A, B or C. Depends on what's in this code and what's in the manager code. Then a win, a couple of wins in fact, then nothing, then a couple of wins, then it's these bits here. So small loss, small loss, small loss, small loss, win. And remember, it can only lose £27. Well, not anymore. It's 27 times 2, which would be 54 quid. Is it 54? There we go. Yep, £54. So loss of the worst trade was 54 quid. That's ever. In all of the trades, it's £54. But the best it won is 1,020. Average is 700 quid gain. And it doesn't trade very often either. It's only in the market for 30% of the time. There's 125 trades. It lost 111 and only won 14. It's an absolute pants, risky system. But as it turns out, it comes out, profitable, which is what we're after. Excusing me. So, just wanted to throw that out there because whilst I'm doing this, it brought me back to the start when I started looking at real-time programming and all this in. And I mean, it does help you. You don't have to do it by programming. You can do it simplified, but it brought it all back to me trying to get, where's it gone, a strategy, 60, 70, 80% winning. And it doesn't really make any difference. If I have, as this trading system is, if I have a system that is losing £54, well, once I've finished faffing with it, it might be a little bit worse than that, but £54 loss to make £705 gain on average, then what's that, 1 to 11, 1 to 15? I don't even know. My maths, I'm not very good at maths, but I let calculators and computers do all that. But that's the whole point. I can lose, even on the version 3, I can lose 10 in a row, and that's only 270 quid. And then I get one winner, which is 700 quid. And that pays off not only those losers, but puts extra in the account for the next set of losers. And I think, looking at it earlier, I think there was something like, something like 12 losses in a row. Is it 12? Statistics, here we go. 15 losses in a row. 15 losses in a row. And at 54 quid, that might be a bit, I don't actually know. Let me get my calculator out. Where's my calculator? So currently 54 times 15, £810 loss. But she's got over that now, but let's go for 4,400. That's nothing. That's nothing. Yes, if you were starting on £1,000, and we had 27 times 15, that's £405. That's nearly 50%, which is why it's risky. But you never, well, not say never say never. It's very rare to have all 15 of these losses at the start of your system. It could happen. It normally happens in major, weird, unvolatile areas like this down here. Let me get rid of that. So around here, between July and, beginning of July and August, some very weird trading parameters were going on. It wasn't very volatile. We need volatility for these types of trades. Certainly on my well-known about 9200, it's got to be volatile. It's got to be, a quick, sharp move. Oh, go away. Got to be a quick, sharp move. Oh yeah, I forgot about it. Down or up, whichever way, so that the system itself can take advantage of those moves. When it's jobby and choppy and just mushing around, there's going to be loss. So it's very rare that all 15 will happen at the same time. And if it does, on £1,000 account, £405 down, it's not a major issue. I think for the DAC, however, I think you need a minimum of 700 and something odd pound in the account. And this is a one-time deal. This is a take one trade before the next trade. So there can't be more than 2 trades on at any one time within this system. So it's called a martingale. So if you ever do any more research on MT4 or TradingView or anything like that, the martingale system is where it will stack trades up in the hope that it will go in the original way. And then when they all win, that's when you make a big wedge of cash. But if they all lose, that's when you lose all of your money. Oh. Yeah, so losing all of your money, that's not what we want. Anyway, I'm going to keep on faffing with this. Since I'm not going to be trading on my own account, I might as well sort some automated stuff out for the Kiddlywinks. But yeah, just to let you know that automation is by far the best way. It's your system that you make, and you can, as a person, as a human being, we have weird emotions, very strange emotions. And we think, and it's happened even when I'm doing it on the live accounts or my other live accounts or the demo account that I'm showing people how I'm trading on a demo account. Even on those, my head will think, yeah, but it could go the other way. Yeah, but the weekly looks weak. So rather than going along, I'll wait for a short. You take the short and it doesn't work out. Whereas automated, it's not human, obviously. It's not really AI. It'll just do exactly what you tell it to do every single time. And that's what you need. But you do need to give it time. So I think it was January 18th or something. January 18th, 19th, whenever it was. I hit to go on the button for these two. And it's been going since. And yeah, when you look at it, it's not a lot, is it? It's, you know, a little bit of a win there, nothing, loss. Oh, a little bit of a win there. It doesn't look much. But over the year, that's more than doubled the account. In fact, it's quadrupled the account. And it's easy to quadruple small accounts. It's not easy. It's not easy, no matter who you speak to, unless, you know, they're a major guru with insider information and have billions at their disposal. It's not easy to take a big account and double it. You can't double a £100,000 account within the year. Well, no, hold on. You could, but you would be risking a whole lot more. Instead of it losing 27 quid or £54, you'd be losing £5,000 or £8,000. And for normals like me, who like money, seeing the loss, the figures that you lose on big accounts like that hurts. That hurts my soul. Yes, the wins are massive, and, you know, they'll win back, you know, 15, 20 grand, and all they need is 5 of them and 6 of them in a year, and they've doubled it. But I personally can't do that. I think on the funded accounts, I've maybe maximum. I'm trying to think back, maybe 60% return on both of them, maximum. I just don't risk too much. But on a small account, to make the money, you have to risk a little bit more. So on £1,000 account, to make, let's call it 4,400 as it is now, rather than this 3,800. You do need to risk a little bit more. Whilst we're looking at that, on this, the current value of this account, 4,468, if I change this, excuse me, back to 1, and we'll see what happens there. Currently, it's, you know, with £2 a point, it's 10,247. Brings you down to 7.3, which is still good. Don't get me wrong. You know, it's not doubled the account, and it won't double the account on the pound per point. But, you know, that is still good. That is, yeah, better than most people will do in a year. If I was to give someone £4,000 and say, right, here you go, trade that and make as much as you can in a year. Any losses you pay for, any winnings you can keep. I guarantee that 9 times out of 10 people will have to then owe me £4,000 or, you know, a couple of grand at least, because they won't be able to do it. And I couldn't do it to start with. It was difficult for me. And then I found the automation. Then I kind of played on the automation a bit, and I said, well, I'll do the manual side of the life for the 9200, and that's when I started becoming profitable a while ago. But you wouldn't be able to do this because some of these trades are taken. Let me see. closed position list. So here is the closed position list for that backtest of V4. And there's some that are taken at 28 minutes past 1 in the morning on the 8th of July. Yeah, it was a loss. But it could have been a win. Let's have a look at this big 5-10. What does that take? Oh, 14 minutes past 3. Remember, this is a 2-minute chart. You'd have to be sat at the screen every single moment of every single day. Another 5-10. Taken at 42 minutes past midnight on the 13th of May. Let's have a look at November this year. So most of them are in the mornings, but this 5-10 was taken at 3:30 in the morning. No one's awake then. We're not awake. I'm not awake. You're not going to be awake just to take a trade, which is why automation is, for me, is key. So without that, this wouldn't be going anywhere. Anywho, if you are on the demo side of life, yep, I'm back into it. I've only got a couple of days now. I've got to go back to my normal day job. But if you are on the demo side of life, just keep on doing the daily engulfing in the direction of the higher time frame. So daily. If it's below the 200, we're looking for shorts. If it's above the 200, you're looking for longs. Be careful because, yeah, we are in a recession. Whether popular news or news outlets or someone else tells you we're not, we most definitely are. All you got to do is look in the shops. Everything's gone up. Bread, milk, cheese, the standards has all gone up. Fuel will go up even further, I am sure. Cost of heating your home, because it's getting quite cold, that's going to go up. I was listening to I won't say who or what, but I happened to be listening to a video recording of a young lady who was crying her cheese off at someone who's asked a simple question of, so come on, how are you really doing? Single mom, we won't go down that road as to why, but single mom, 2 kids, living in a flat, and she had no money. She was literally getting money from her mum and other people to buy other bits and bobs. And it threw me back to a time when we had to scrimp and scrave and put money away and count the pounds rather than just buy the kebab. It's only £3. Bring a kebab in, damn it. Yeah, give it damn me. But there's people now in this day and age who can't afford to heat the whole house or flat. They can't afford to get on the bus, even though they get a free bus pass. They can't afford to get on the bus because no matter where they're going to go on the bus, they're going to spend money. They'll need to buy a coffee or get their kids something to eat or whatever. Something that people thinking about not doing things because it's going to ruin clothes and they need to buy new clothes. Or if they do go to the park and they scuff their shoes up, they're going to have to buy new shoes and they can't afford the shoes and it's Christmas. So it's that's all you've got to look at is what's happening around you or us. Certainly me, I can see it. And we'll know that we're in a recession. And when you get down to Waitrose or wherever it is you shop and you can't find the bacon, if you really fancy a bacon sandwich tomorrow, pop down to Waitrose, go and get some bacon. Yeah, we've only got smoked thin Italian stuff. Oh, right, okay. Well, I really want a thick back bacon. Yeah, we haven't got that. I didn't come in. Oh, right. And it's not because, it's not being made, or it might be. It's predominantly because the distribution centres can't get their trucks out. There's not enough people to drive them. Or, they're not going to pay the extortionate amount of money for that bacon because we're not going to pay it. I'm not going to pay £3 a packet of bacon. Well, I probably will, actually. But your average gadget's not going to. Anyway, enough ranting and rabbling. Automated trading is the way ahead. as far as I can tell, not MT4. MT4 is different, because you need to either have your computer on constantly or run it through a VPS or a virtual private server, which costs money. You need to take that into account when you're thinking about it. So if you have a £500 MT4 account and you're using an EA or an automated assistant on your strategies, you need to make more on the strategy than it's costing you through the VPS or through electricity at home, and that's currently not viable. Let me just get a quick drink. Talking of Waitrose, I need to go and get some more Pepsi. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so automation for me is the way ahead. Manual trading has its place, yes, for weekly, daily, 4-hourly, sometimes even hourly entries, yes. And on the 9200 hourly, 4-hourly, yes, which we'll get into, don't worry, next month or maybe even next year. That's a doozy, that's a gizzit, that's a, thanks, yeah, we'll have that. But automation definitely has its place. And when or if you get into trading and it consumes your life as it does mine, you'll find it too, and you'll backtest something and you'll think, oh my God, why wasn't I doing that? And then you just code it and get it done and hit play. Just don't touch it. Just leave it alone. It will lose. You'll see it losing. I have other automated trading strategies for an hourly Forex pair, and it loses. It loses probably, 30-40% of the time. So that is a 55-60 win rate, but it wins small. It wins along, more times than it loses, but it wins small, which is good. It grows that account ever so slowly. Whereas this one is a high risk, high return automated strategy on a very small time frame. Anyway, I'll leave you to it. Have yourselves a very good day wherever you is to, and yeah, I'll speak to you on the next one. Because I can hear an echo, I don't know where it's coming from. Well, me, obviously. But if you guys can hear an echo, if you are watching this video and you can hear an echo, just type in the comments if there are comments below. And if I'm not bothered whether you like or subscribe, not really bothered. But if you do find anything that clicks from this video or any video, send me a quick message. Let me know what you want to know about next time. Excuse me, and I'll try and throw that into the next video as well. So oil, for instance, oil was a good one. I'm definitely long on oil. Probably shouldn't be, but I'm definitely long on it. I'm into that in a minute. I don't do crypto. I only buy crypto through my own crypto wallet. I don't buy it for investing purposes or spread betting. I just don't do it. It's too volatile for this. Anyway, I'm out. Sod it. I've bored you enough. Give me a shout.